JB Cycles here with an update on March the 4th. So we are in this bullish phase of my 4-week cycle, and it's kind of struggling. We did pop up on Thursday, Friday, but it's not behaving very bullish in this bullish phase, although it still has about 1 week to go. But as you see my red scenario here, we are kind of doing, well, it could be either one. We could gain strength in the coming week and get a real bullish phase here, or we could start to roll over and make this some kind of a B, C correction going down. So we have to see the current week. And also I mentioned we had a strong solar or geomagnetic storm hitting us last week, and that's kind of interesting. If we look at well, this is the Norwegian market here, and these vertical lines are strong geomagnetic storms. And as you see, well, recently these storms, they happen just before major tops, but not always. If we go back, we see this one didn't produce a major top, and sometimes we see the initial reaction is some kind of a squeeze or blow off top before we get the bigger correction. But as you see, not always is it bearish, but if you going back, very often these geomagnetic storms produce something bearish. And also interesting here is here I have drawn, well, let's switch over to are these geomagnetic storms related to the heliocentric Venus-Jupiter cycle of 238 calendar days. Here's the distribution of these strong solar storms in this cycle, and as you see, we have two tops. These storms happen mostly at these two periods, and here I have drawn the time of the conjunction of Venus-Jupiter, and here is the opposition. And as you see, the storms happen a couple of months after the conjunction or the opposition. So the theory is around the conjunction and the opposition. They produce tidal forces and tidal waves on the sun, which again produces sunspots, and after a time these sunspots mature and they explode and they produce geomagnetic storms on Earth. So if you look at what happens after such a geomagnetic storm, here for Norway I have picked a couple of examples. So the storm happens here, and as you see, often we top at this point. That will be the coming week. We also see sometimes we dip and then we make another top the week thereafter. Sometimes, these rallies or squeezes even stretch a bit further. Here I have picked the most recent ones for the last couple of years. As you see, those kind of had the top in the coming week, and then we had the correction. So, well, speculation, it's not a very trustworthy signal. If we switch over to here, so we are in a pullback phase, but it doesn't look very bearish. We didn't break this line, but we still could later on. I had this scenario. It looks like the red line, and as we see, the blue line, the current S&P, It doesn't look very bearish, but still we could roll over in the coming week here and make a lower low, but it doesn't look very bearish. If we switch over to cycles, let's have a look here. First take the quarterly cycle. So we see this cycle is about to turn down. If we look at the 10-week cycle, that one still has 1 week to go before it rolls over. And if you look at the market, the low around New Year was probably this cycle low, and the low past week was probably a cycle low. So we are looking for some kind of a cycle top here in the next couple of weeks, and that would correspond with the possible top from the geomagnetic storm. So will it be a lower high? Will we have a double top here, or will we break to a higher high? We have to see. And then we have the 16-week cycle. You know, the 16-week cycle is the planetary Venus-Jupiter cycle. There's about 16 weeks between a conjunction and an opposition. Well, this cycle still has a bit to go on the upside. So, but if it's bearish left translated, we could turn down any time. And the composite of these, it suggests, you know, 1 more week of upside, and then we should roll over. And if we go over to here, here's my 7-year cycle in red, still suggesting we could have some kind of a low in the summer, but you know, is the bear market already over? We have broken out of this trend. And here I have the 40-week offset, and you see we are just about to break out from this 40-week offset, and that would be very unusual. Well, that's a signal of a new bull market, but we haven't broken it yet, and we still could flush down here and struggle with it and then capitulate down. So breaking a little bit above this offset is not a very good signal, but if we see a follow through and a rally, well, then this looks more and more like a new bull market. But we could, you know, stay mostly below and then start to capitulate, and that would be the analog of the 2000 bear market. That one, as we see here, it did break the trend line. We broke the 200-day moving average, just like now. But we see we had this A, B, C, call it bear flag, and then we had the capitulation. And still, that's a possible scenario where we are now. We have A, B, C. Is it just a bear flag? And then we could break down here and capitulate. So do I have anything else to show? I think mostly that was it. So what I'm looking for, well, still a week to go with the bullish phase here. If we see call it weakness, not a rally, but if we go mostly sideways the coming week, then the cycles after that, in starting mid March, they are all turning bearish. So the coming week, you know, if we rally, well, I don't know. We have to see. The coming week will be interesting. I would be looking for some kind of a short setup in about 1 week. You know, we could break down earlier. Yeah. I guess that's for today. So see you in the next one.